Yo, so this part is basically just gonna be me talking about fashion shit from the past. It's not even gonna be like some edited shit. It's not even gonna be some crazy good quality. This is me using the microphone that's on my computer, the built-in one. I don't have no external microphone or anything like that, man. But I was watching this complex show. It's a sneaker show, and they had Jim Jones on it, right? And I was thinking about how fashion was for me and how I like it. Like, I love fashion. My mom was always into fashion. I always heard that my grandma was into fashion. You know, when my grandma was around when I was younger and stuff, she was a little bit older, so it wasn't like she was really out there shopping like that. But you could still tell she had style and shit like that. Uncles that got like nice ass dress shoes, Stacy Adams, all that. My dad, he's kind of like an older style, but he still dresses nice. But my dad dresses like casual dressy. That's his style. He doesn't really have like a streetwear kind of style, you know what I'm saying? But for me, it was something that was so dope. And the thing was like if you went to high school with me, you might have seen me in some decent stuff like that, but like even as a kid, like dude, you know, before my clothes got too expensive because they became adult clothes or my sneakers and stuff like that became too expensive. Elementary school, I had Jordans. My mom kept me dressed in like shit like DKNY because, you know, back in the 90s and stuff, DKNY was like the shit. So I had like a bunch of DKNY type designer shit, like dope shit, sweaters, all the shit, like a kid with some dope ass DKNY shit, like jeans, all that. And I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. Like adults complimenting me, not like to make my head seem bigger or anything like that, like not being on no cocky shit, but it was just like I loved the way that fashion was. You feel so good. Like one thing that's so funny, and it's like a weird confession, but like I used to love ironing my clothes because I'd be like, yo, this shit looks fresh. Like knocking those wrinkles out. And then you like, yo, your shit is looking crispy, fresh. Like, you know what I mean? Like you might have just washed it and dried it and all that stuff. And then now you're ironing it. You're ironing your fit or whatever. And then you like, yo, this shit is looking crispy. Like no fucking wrinkles, you know? And I love that feeling. But as I got older, it was like, yo, okay, my shoes got more expensive. So my parents weren't buying me Jordans like that, you know what I mean? This is when I kind of started wearing cheaper shoes, like not cheap shoes, but like, you know, like just anything that was cheaper than Jordans, you feel? So I remember, man, I remember being in elementary and the Taxi 12s first came out. The Jordan Taxi 12s first came out. And I remember that was like one of the last pair of shoes that I got because after that, like a little bit after that, dude, my shoes started getting expensive because I was wearing adult size shoes and stuff like that. And I always went to school in Westchester, California. It's a part of Los Angeles. And Westchester is like, it's in a white area. So like the minorities that went to school in Westchester, they pretty much always had their fashion shit on. You know what I mean? They always had the cool shit on. Like, well, I went to Westport Heights Elementary School. I remember this one girl, Dominique, and her brother. Bro, they had on crazy shit. Like, Dominique and her brother had on Jordans all the time. I don't remember their last name, but I remember the Taxi 12s were out. I had the Taxi 12s, and then the Playoff 12s came out. And she was on some dope shit, bro. She would wear one Taxi 12 and one Playoff 12 because the colors were both black, white, and she would just like have both of them on because like one on one foot because it was just like the colors were dope, but it like just looked different, went well together. Like it ended up getting to the point like even in high school, I started doing that with shell toe Adidas. I would wear like one black Adidas and then one white Adidas. Like I just did it for a little while and shit like that. Just on some different shit. Like one thing about fashion shit, when I got older, I was experimenting with a lot of shit. Like I would wear certain stuff. If I thought it looked dope, it would be like I would have the colors match but like I would have my own spin on it. Plus, on top of that, you know, I was a skateboarder, and being like a black skateboarder, dude, you're into certain stuff. So like, I would get the CCS magazines, which was like a skateboarding magazine. They sold skateboarding backpacks, skateboarding decks, trucks for your skateboard and the wheels, bearings. They also sold skateboarding sneakers. So then you had like the etnies, you had circus shoes, you had fucking DC shoes, you had Osiris shoes and Vans. So it was like, bro, this is before like a lot of people were wearing Vans. I was never really into Vans like that, but like skateboarding shoes never really became a big thing, but I wore some. I remember after high school, I was shopping on like Melrose, right? And I went to this place, like a thrift place on Melrose. And this is probably about like maybe 2006. Yeah, probably like 2006, 2007. And man, like you can ask anybody, bro. Like this is before fools started wearing skinny jeans, right? But I didn't really like the style. Like I didn't like the skinny jean style, but I tried it for this night because we were going to a party, right? Man, I had some purple skinny jeans. Purple skinny jeans. I had this shirt that had skulls on it, but like it was skulls and then it had like blue something. It was like a black shirt, but it had like skulls and then it had like these kind of powder blue like flames or something coming from the skulls. And it looked like, if you guys know about the Zero skateboard company, how they have the skulls on most of their decks and t-shirts and shit like that. The skulls look like the Zero skulls from their shirts and shit like that. So, but it was skulls all over, right? Dope ass shirt. Put that shirt together with the purple skinny jeans, and then I found some DC shoes that were like fucking pink, black. Mainly the shoe was black. The midsole was like white, but it had black speckles on it, and it had like a black line through the midsole. It had a strap on it, and on the strap of the shoe, the DC was a powder blue also. So then I had the black with the powder blue and the pink with the purple skinny jeans, and nobody was wearing skinny jeans in LA. Nobody. I was getting roasted that whole night, bro. And the niggas that roasted me, shortly afterwards, not long after that, oh damn, my thing going on. But not long after that, niggas started rocking skinny jeans. But for me, I remember I was wearing those jeans, and I just felt like they were so uncomfortable. I remember I couldn't put my wallet in my pocket. Back then, you know, it was around like sidekick days. Could barely put my sidekick in my pocket. You know, it was uncomfortable for me. So I never really wore skinny jeans again. I think I just put like the shoes. I mean, not the shoes, but I think I just put the pants somewhere else. And I was just like, man, I didn't really wear them too much after that. I think I wore them like a couple of times after, but it wasn't really my style to wear skinny jeans like that. But it was just like a little thing that I put together. But the thing was like, dude, fools were cracking jokes, but then there was a lot of people also that were like, yo, that shit look different, that shit look dope, especially the way that I had the colors together. And at this time also, I was into Nike Dunks. And I had a few friends that were into Nike Dunks. Who can I say? Justin was into Dunks. What's his car was into Dunks? This dude, Nick, was into Dunks, and Terrell. They were all into Nike Dunks, right? But they were into it a little bit more than I was. But then I really started buying Dunks. And this is all like right after high school, like 2006 and shit like that. And it was just like I was into that fashion. And the way that we kind of dressed was kind of like skater type stuff in a way, like jeans, a certain type of hoodie or something, and then some dope ass Nikes. But me, I didn't have like a shit ton of sneakers in my rotation. So it was like, yeah, I kind of recycled shoes like that sometimes. But one thing that I love so much about the Dunks is just like they just look so dope. I kind of hated low top shoes. I really still don't like low top shoes. Like I have some Jordan 11 IEs that are low top. I have like some Jordan 9s that are low top, and some other shoes like like Van type shoes or something like that are low top. But at that time, all of my shoes I wanted to be high top shoes because the way that I wore them was like I wore them and I always had the tongue of the shoe showing off. And that was just how I did it, and I loved it. I loved it so fucking much. Like I just felt like fashion became such a big thing. It kind of already was, but like in high school, I wasn't like a bratty kid, like being like, "Oh, my parents ain't buying me this, this, and this." And especially going to a school like Westchester High School, which is in Los Angeles. Westchester High School, it was a fashion school. You know what I mean? The women were into that fashion shit. The guys were into their fashion shit. Even though it was a time where niggas wore like certain type of designer jeans, and just something like white tees or whatever. But it's like the sneakers were the thing. But I recognized that my parents, and I knew it, and I wasn't mad that my parents just weren't buying me any other shoes like that. And it's like something that you realize later after high school. You like, damn, like a shit ton of these people were acting like they were dope and better than other people because they had certain sneakers and shoes and certain fits and everything. And then you don't realize it till later, like, bro, like other people were paying for these shoes. You know, their parents were paying for shoes and stuff like that. So it was just something that was crazy, but I love sneakers so fucking much. So yeah, man, the Nike Dunks were everything to me. I remember I had found a shoe store that was in the Delamo Mall, man, and they normally sold like dressy men's shoes and stuff like that, but they also sold sneakers. But I don't think that many people knew about the place, right? So they always got the new release Jordans. They always got like the new release Dunks and stuff like that, like the Dunks that would be like sold out in other shoe stores or like collaborative type Nike Dunks and stuff. So like I would go to that store and get shoes, and that's when I started really getting into Dunks, and I thought Dunks were so fucking fire, man. The only thing I hated about Dunks and Air Force Ones, that's why I was wearing Dunks and Air Force Ones at that time. And the thing I just hated about them was like, bro, and anybody that's into sneakers, you know, Dunks and Air Force Ones, the life of them is fucking like small as hell, bro. Like it's short. It's short lived because you wear them a couple of times, and that toe box, the way that toe box starts to get wrinkled up and fucked up, like, bro, you like, man, I don't even wear these no more because your toe box is looking like it's all bumpy and shit. But it's just like, I don't know, man. The life expectancy of those shoes suck. But I still love Dunks and everything. Like, they were fire as hell. Still to this day, so many different Dunks that I wanted. I had like Dunks that had see-through bottoms, and it was like a picture on the bottom of them. That's when I started getting into like in high school. I remember I had a Billionaire Boys Club jacket. It was the powder blue one with the diamonds and the dollar signs on it. Loved that jacket. And then also after high school, I ended up getting the Billionaire Boys Club sneakers, the ice cream sneakers, the original ice cream sneakers. And I still have them to this day, but I can't fit them anymore. But they were like the yellow ones with the kind of like lime green. And they were the ones that had the dollar signs and diamonds on them. And on the tag, on the inside of the tongue, it's like, I think the number was 5,000 or 5,500. And I had like number like, I don't know, I think it might have been like 4,000 or something. So it was only 5,500 of these sneakers that were made, and I had a pair of them. And I just thought it was so dope because it made it so exclusive. It made it something that was just so special. And it wasn't like, oh, I was going out and being so cocky about it. It was just, that was a thing of fashion. It was something that was so fucking fire. Till this day, I got like a bunch of sneakers that a lot of people do not see on a regular. Like I have the 2008 Beijing Jordan 6s, which a lot of people have never seen those shoes, because I think those shoes might not have even really came out in America. But I remember I found a seller, bought those shoes. I thought they were so fucking fire. It's a white patent leather shoe with a black tongue, with like green trim over the holes in the tongue. If you guys are familiar with Jordan 6s, it had different colors. It had the Beijing Olympics colors, which was like red, yellow, and green, on the midsole, and then the bottom was see-through with black, and then like I think a blue Jordan logo on the bottom of the shoes. Fire, dude. And there was the Beijing Olympics logo that was stitched into the toe box of the shoe. Fire ass shoe. Love that shoe to this day, but they're kind of small. Actually, the shoe that I bought, man, like it was like they were just like too small when I bought them, right? But I was like, bro, I love these shoes. And every pair that I seen that people were reselling were so fucked up. And these were like the perfect ones. There was nothing wrong with them. I bought them and I was like, dude, I love those fucking shoes. And every time I went out, and not trying to, like I said, not trying to be on no cocky shit or anything, but it was just like, every time somebody saw those shoes, they were like, damn, I never seen those. Or people that were sneakerheads that did see the shoes, they were like, man, those are fucking dope. And it wasn't like I was going out and buying these sneakers because I was like, yo, this shit is gonna kill them. It was really like, I love these shoes. Every single pair of sneakers that I bought were shoes that I really wanted, you know? I think it was because when I was younger and my parents stopped buying me these type of sneakers, it was just like I always still wanted them, but I realized that they just weren't gonna buy them. And like I said, I wasn't mad at my parents for not buying them. I understood. But it was just like, dude, as soon as straight out of high school, I was in college, and then I had a job and everything. So it was like, dude, I had the money, and I was just going and buying these shoes. But like, still, I wasn't buying like crazy numbers of shoes. But I think the Jordan kind of collection thing came afterwards, because first it started with like Air Forces and then Dunks and stuff like that. And that was the first time where I really, really, really got into collecting a lot of sneakers. I remember having like the Croc Dunks where it looked like they were like gray. It was like charcoal and black type sneakers, and it looked like it had like alligator scales on it, you know, fire as hell. For the longest, my style of fashion was something that was a little bit different, because in the early 2000s, you know, like Dipset was such a big thing, and that's what made me want to, you know, record this, because I was watching Jim Jones shit. But like, man, it was just like the fashion was kind of different in LA. This is a time where a lot of dudes were just wearing like Levi's and white tees and stuff like that. But my fashion shit was a little bit different. You know what I mean? Like, I was wearing Nietzsche. I was wearing shit, what else? Not a Nietzsche. I was wearing a Nietzsche, but then I was also wearing like other different stuff, you know what I mean? Like, I was wearing other different brands and stuff that were kind of more on the like shit that you would see like New York type people wearing, you know what I mean? New York people wearing. And that was just kind of like how I made it into it. And it was like people that I knew that were from New York or whatever. And even like you know, we got into like, it was like the MySpace days and stuff like that. And then like people will always ask me like, are you from New York? Like, I'm like, nah, I'm not from New York, you know. But it was just like the way my style was kind of like that. It was different from regular LA type fashion. And I loved it, because one thing for me with fashion is always be a little bit different. One thing I used to hate so much until this day, when I started buying Jordans, and when I started buying like, even when I was buying Dunks and stuff like that, I always looked for shoes that I did not see on the regular. You know, you see it now, even with sneaker releases, you'll see like a shoe that comes out, especially if it's like a Jordan 11 or a Yeezy or something like that. You'll see it, and the release date is probably like a Saturday. Yeezys sometimes come out on different days. But then you would see like everybody out in public with the same fucking sneakers on. You know what I mean? And like even like now, where you have so many guys wearing, Fashion Nova men, or like there was a time where it seemed like a lot of guys were wearing shit from fucking like H&M, because H&M isn't that expensive. You know what I mean? So a lot of guys are wearing shit from H&M. So you would see a lot of people out with the same similar type of fits. And like for me, it was always different. Like I always had like different type of jackets. I got ridiculous to the point where it's like, yo, if it could be a cold ass night, I would know that it's cold. If I didn't have a jacket that matched the fit, I'm not wearing a jacket. I'm gonna just have to be cold, because I'm like, yo, I'm not fucking up the fit for this. You know what I mean? And it got to a point where it's like, dude, even my mom and shit, like, man, I know you're not gonna wear a jacket. And I would just sit there and be like, yeah, it don't go together with my fit. So I'm like, bro, I'm not putting that together. Kind of ridiculous, but it was just like, dude, that's how much I was into that shit. And I'm not saying that like I'm some super fashionista or whatever like that, but it was just like the fashion shit was it. You know what I mean? Like I was a dude from LA that was wearing like dudes in LA wore Sean John and Rocawear stuff, but like I even got to the point where I was wearing Pro-Keds, and Pro-Keds, you had the Rocawear Pro-Keds, which were more of a New York thing. Like I remember I had the black Pro-Keds, patent leather Pro-Keds with like different color Rocawear logos all over it, right? And it was dope. Like they were fucking fire. I remember having like Air Force Ones that were like different. There were different styles of Air Force Ones, not just the white Air Force Ones that a lot of people were wearing. I was getting like the different colors, like different collab type Air Force Ones, same way that I was doing my dunks and stuff like that. So I was really into that, and I loved it so much. And it wasn't really me trying to impress other people. It was just like, bruh, for me, myself, like, I don't know about you guys, but like when the fashion is right, you look at it and you're like, damn, you feel good. You know what I mean? You feel good. And like, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, when I went out and then people would compliment shit that I wore, I would have a big smile on my face, because it's like, yo, like, thank you for the appreciation. But still, at the end of the day, I wasn't like, yo, I'm trying to shut your shit down or whatever. Everybody has their own style. Some people can go out in regular jeans from Old Navy and wear like a fucking Old Navy fleece hoodie and still look cool, you know what I mean? But just for me, I always wanted to switch it up and be so different. But back to being different, like even when I started collecting Jordans, what I would do was I would look for older release Jordans, like Jordans that weren't retro in a long time, or Jordans that were never retro, like the Jordan 13 Cherries came out in 2010 again. I remember, till this day, I have the original Jordan 13 Cherry ones from, well, I don't even know if they're really called the Cherry, but they might be called the Bulls ones. But the white and red ones, I have the one from 97. So like, dude, I mean, they're like soul separation and everything now, but like when I got them, they were good. You know, it wasn't no soul separation or anything like that, but now it is. So I don't wear them. Same thing with like, dude, when I got my fire red threes, I got it from like a reseller, but they were a little bit messed up. Like the paint was kind of messed up, so I restored them myself. I was looking at restoration videos. I restored them myself. Found a fire red paint from Angelus. Stripped all the red paint off of the Jordan 3s where it was before. Repainted them with the white on the paint. Also did that too, because if you wear Jordan 3s, then you know that back heel tab, bro, that motherfucker gets so fucked up. It can even crumble over time, and I think that's what happened to them now. They might not have crumbled yet, but they might have. I don't know. I haven't seen those shoes in a while. But yeah, dude, I will always try to get, say like they dropped certain shoes. Because I remember like, dude, for a few years when they had started that lineup again with the Jordan 11s, you know, they had I don't know which one was the first one. I think it might have been the Space Jams that started first. And then it went to like, I forgot which order it was. I don't know which one, if the Concords came out after that, but like I remember they did the Cool Grays and then the Concords and then, you know, the Breads and all that stuff. I know the Breads came out in 2012. And then before that, I think the year before it was the Concords. And then Cool Grays probably, yeah, the Concords were 2011. Cool Grays were 2010, I believe. And then the Space Jams were 2009. Or I thought the Space Jams might have been 2008. I forgot. But anyway, while everybody was looking for those, I was trying to get different ones. I mean, I still got the Breads around that time. I bought 2 pair of those. I ended up getting 2 pair of the Bread ones, 11s. But like, while everybody was looking for these new releases, I was trying to get older releases. Because now it's like, oh, okay, when I go out, you know, I'm not sitting there wearing all the same shoes as everybody else, especially like you being young, you going out to the club, you going out to parties, you going to the mall, and it's like, bro, everybody got the same sneakers on. And I used to just hate it because, like I said, with fashion, I just wanted to be so different. Like it got to the point where it was like I wasn't even sure of some outfits, and I would just throw those outfits on and then go out, and then I'd be like, all right, this shit look cool. Like to me, it looked cool. And then, like, you know, people would compliment these outfits, and then it's like, oh, okay, cool. So niggas are fucking with it. Like, it got to the point where I was even buying, like, different brands that I had never tried before. Like, brands I had never heard of, like, with hoodies and different shit like that. Like, shit that was just like, I remember I had this, like, white and gray striped hoodie, fire-ass hoodie, pullover hoodie. People like that one, you know what I mean? Just a straight up, like, just striped hoodie. Like, you know what I mean? Different. It goes with whatever type of jeans you wear. I started getting into, like, antique denim jeans. When I got into it, I had a friend that was into antique denim jeans. He had a bunch of them. And then around that time, I started getting into antique denim jeans, too. And at that time, like, I wasn't even wearing... I don't even really remember people in L.A. wearing jeans that had, like, rips in them. You know what I mean? And then I think like that became a thing like with women. Women started wearing jeans that had like the thigh part ripped and stuff, like with slits on the thigh and stuff like that. But like for me, it wasn't like that. It was like, you know, jeans where like the knee area was kind of ripped or whatever. And the funny thing was like I started wearing some jeans, and then some of my jeans, man, they would get like just fucked up. Like I would wear them sometime, but like we'd be going out partying, different shit like that, and I might fuck up my jeans. And then the jeans end up getting like a rip by the knee or some shit like that, right? And I remember like putting on some jeans, like just putting them on, like, you know, they had a rip by the knee. And I'm like, bro, like that low key looked tight. And then I started wearing jeans that had like the rips in it. And then also, I remember like my grandma was in town, and she was staying with us, and I put on some of those jeans, and she was like, why are you wearing those? Like, you know, like get them patched up. And, you know, back in the day, if people had jeans that were like ripped up or whatever, it was like, you know, you put patches on. You sewed patches on your jeans. And that even became like a style with Nietzsche jeans, because I had some Nietzsche jeans that were blue, and then they had like leather square patches on them. But that was the design. But that was also something that people had. And it's so funny because once you think about fashion, dude, back in the day, I've always heard of like from my parents or like uncles and stuff like that. Back in the day, they were roasting kids for having jeans and pants that had patches on it. But then that became a fashion thing. You know what I mean? Same with like how my grandma thought that it was ridiculous that I was wearing jeans that had rips in them. It became a fashion thing. And it was something that was just so different. Like even it got to the point where I started wearing jeans and would have like a thermal and then Timberland boots or something like that, you know? And also Timberland boots. I fucking hate the life expectancy on those because you get anything on them, it's a wrap. You know what I'm saying? So like I have a pair of Timberland boots at the house, and it's like the toe area, like that shit is a different color now because I tried to clean it, fucked them up. So like I want another pair because I love them. I love the way that they fit and everything like that. But like really, fashion is something that's just so dope. I love the culture of all that shit. I love the way that it is. I love how you can just not make a statement for others, but like make a statement for yourself. Like this is dope. This is me. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, like my style was a little different than other people from Los Angeles. You know what I mean? Like really, a lot of people. I lived in Los Angeles. I have lived in South Central Los Angeles probably my whole life. Because I lived in Inglewood for a little while, but like I've always lived in like the hood of Los Angeles, and people from Los Angeles would even think that I was from out of town or something like that, just because of like how my style was with shit. And it wasn't that, you know what I mean? It wasn't that at all. It was just I always felt like I wanted to dress different than what I normally saw. You know what I mean? Like it got to the point where a lot of dudes wanted to wear. You know, people were always Los Angeles is a place where you can wear a plain tee, especially a white tee, jeans, and some Vans. That became a thing for a while where niggas was just wearing white tees, jeans, and Vans. And I never wanted to go with that same style because you go to the party and it's like, bruh, like I said, this is for you, but then at the same time, you do want to stand out a little bit. And I never wanted my style to be just like that. You go to a party, niggas got on belt buckles, white tees, jeans, and Vans. And that was just like, it wasn't something I was trying to fuck with. So then when I started wearing shoes that were like Vans and different shit like that, I started wearing it a little bit after that shit started dying down, but switching it up a little bit more. Started wearing my LRG stuff, which there were people in LA wearing LRG stuff, but not as much. We had stores like Up Against the Wall, which went out of business. But Up Against the Wall sold a lot of stuff that wasn't LA fashion. Up Against the Wall sold a lot of stuff that was more like New York fashion. And that's kind of how my style was back then. You know, jeans, maybe a white tee, but then some other type of jacket. I also started getting jackets as soon as Forever 21 started selling men's clothes. I started getting jackets and shit from there, and a lot of people weren't fucking with Forever 21's men's line at that time. I don't know if they do now, but like back then, bro, I was like, yo, Forever 21 got these certain jackets and stuff to go along with it. Like these jackets that looked like layered, like it looked like it was another jacket underneath another jacket, or like it looked like a hoodie underneath another jacket, but it was just one jacket and looked so fucking dope. Like it got to the point where I was wearing hoodies with my Letterman jacket. I would wear I remember I had a white and red Letterman jacket, and I still have it. I think it's in my closet, and it was from a school. And this is when I was really shopping on Melrose. So Melrose has like thrift stores, but Melrose also has like vintage stores. So there's a vintage store. It's a vintage store, but then also it's like you can buy costumes and shit there. And it's on Melrose. And I remember I found this Letterman jacket. I don't know what school it is. It's a high school. But their mascot was a chicken. And the name of their mascot was Cock. You know, like Cox. So on the front of it, it was a white C on the front of it, of the Letterman jacket. So it was a red and white Letterman jacket. And then on the back, it had a big ass like rooster. And then it said Cox in cursive underneath the rooster. Fire ass jacket. People roasted me because it said Cox, and like, you know, fools gonna make their gay jokes. But at the end of the day, that jacket was fire as fuck. And at that time, Letterman jackets for me were dope. This is when like Chris Brown came out, and then, you know, you're looking at like the Run It videos, or you're looking at even videos from his second album. What was the song he did with where he was with the girls that were like the vampires or shit like that? I forgot. He hopped out of the Corvette, and then he had on like a Letterman jacket. I had a Letterman jacket that looked like the one he had in that video, but it was different. I think his had a C on the front too, but it was different. Mine had that chicken, the rooster on the back. Fire ass jacket. Like, I have a shit ton of Letterman jackets. I have a lot of Letterman jackets. I got white and blue ones. I got all black Letterman jackets. I got that red and white one. I got gray and white ones. I have like a shit ton of Letterman jackets, and I always loved that look. Letterman jackets brings you back to a style from what you would see in like the 1980s. You would see like the jocks and shit in these movies. Pretty in Pink, The Breakfast Club, fucking Revenge of the Nerds, fucking any of the National Lampoon type shit, with like the college students or the high school students, Teen Wolf and shit like that. You will see dudes walk around in like the stonewashed jeans and Letterman jackets, like white tees underneath and Letterman jackets. And like people will look at that and be like, okay, this is more of like a white guy style, but like it was something that I was wearing. So I would be wearing, in these movies, they would probably be wearing like Chuck Taylor Converse with, the whole fit with the jeans, the white tee, and the Letterman jacket. For me, it was like the Letterman jacket, the white tee or black tee, whatever. Most of my Letterman jackets did have white in it, so it was normally like I was buying a bunch of white tees and just wearing the white tees underneath my Letterman jackets. And then I would have like the jeans. It could be dark jeans, but then normally with white and shit like that, it would be like stonewash or like light color jeans. And wearing that with like some Nike Blazers or some Nike Dunks or and shit like that. Or like even later on when I really started getting into Jordans, I started wearing that with my Jordans. And just dope ass fashion shit, dude. And I love it so much. But then as you get older, you kind of get into different shit. You kind of look at shit differently. You know what I mean? It got to the point where I'm not even gonna lie. Like I started wearing the $10 fucking Walmart jeans, but niggas will still compliment me on my fit, not knowing what kind of jeans they were. It got to the point where I was buying a shit ton of Levi jeans, and then I got smart about it because I'm like, bro, I'm paying this much for Levi jeans, and on the third wash, I don't care what kind of fucking laundry detergent you're using, on the third wash, your Levi jeans are fucking finished. Especially if you got some black Levi 501s, your jeans are about to be ashy as fuck. So then it got to the point where I got a whole bunch of gray fucking Levi jeans now, and I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, I got a whole bunch of gray ass jeans. Like, I can't even wear them no more because they ashy ass black jeans. So I had to get smart about it and start buying like jeans, maybe lower budget jeans, but still the rest of the fit was fire. You feel what I'm saying? Like I went through wearing a shit ton of designer type jeans. You feel me? Like I had a bunch of jeans. I had, like I said, the antique denim jeans when they were really popping. I still wear some of my antique denim jeans till this day. And I had my Nietzsche jeans, a shit ton of different. I had a lot of Nietzsche jeans, and then I also had, like I said, the Levi's and shit like that. It was just fashion was such a big thing. Sorry, I had to like start typing. My computer went into the screensaver mode. But like, dude, fashion was a great thing for me. I love it. Until this day, I love it. And it's just a little bit different because like shit gets a little bit chilled. You know what I mean? I'm not going out and being in the club scene or the party scene as much as I used to, but still love fashion, still know how to put clothes together. And it's not, I get it. There's some people that don't even really care about that shit. It's some people that aren't really into it that much, or their fashion shit might be different. You might just be a person that wears a t-shirt, jeans, and Chuck Taylors. And it's something that's simple, but it still works for you. You feel what I'm saying? Like, it even got to the point where I was wearing clothes and I was buying bandanas to go with my clothes. Like, I got purple and red bandanas that I wore sometimes to go with my clothes. Not even on no gangbanger shit, but just it went along with my clothes. You feel what I'm saying? Like, that's how deep I kind of got into shit. Like, it got to the point where I was wearing so much different shit that was different than what people in my area were wearing, and I loved it. I loved it because people would see it, and then they'd be like, yo, that's different. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, it in a way, it becomes influential because really, honestly, people put so much pressure on fashion to the point where people become hype beasts. People feel that they have to have this, or this to fit in. When you can kind of make your own thing. Like, yeah, fashion, you can have influences, but throw your own spin on it. You feel what I'm saying? You don't have to have the same thing. Like I said, these days you have Fashion Nova, so you will go out and see chicks in the same fits. You'll see guys in the same fits and shit like that. And it's like, bro, like it's not really a unique thing anymore. It's like people don't want to go and search for clothes anymore. It's easier to hop online, look at a bunch of shit that a bunch of other people are ordering, and then you're ordering the same type of fucking fit. You want to be different. And that's one thing with fashion, is being different, finding your own fit, your own your own fit, like you fitting into your own type of style and running with it. Like it's crazy. Like it's to the point where, like, dude, and I'm not trying to be cocky, but it's to the point where a lot of shit that I wore, I feel influenced people that I knew. You feel what I'm saying? And like even with like the Nike Dunks, like I said, I knew people that were wearing Nike Dunks before I started collecting Nike Dunks and stuff like that. Like, you know, a bunch of people. Like I know these two Brandons. They worked at, you know, pavilions and shit and stuff in Santa Monica, California. And they were buying Dunks and stuff too. Brandon McCoy, he had the fucking thing Nike Dunks, which were like brown and orange and a kind of caramel color or tan color. And then you have Brandon Brown. He had a bunch of different kicks and stuff like that. Just very cool. He just cool as hell. And Tiffany Dunks, which till this day, I want the Tiffany Dunks. They came out with different ones, but shoes that I still want to this day, and I want like the original versions of them, and I want the newer versions of them, are the Tiffany Dunks. I want the high top ones, and I want the low top ones. And I also want the De La Soul Dunks, both kind. I want the ones that are like the high top ones with the green and the brown, and then I want the lower top ones that have like more yellow on it. Fire ass shoes. Always wanted them, but they were always like collaborative Nike Dunks. So they were just always expensive, you know what I mean? And if you didn't get them right then, it was just like, bro, you're out of it, you know? But dude, fashion has always been a dope thing for me, you know? I loved it. I loved it so much. It even got to the point where I remember there was a point where I was wearing like fucking vests, like fucking. I would wear like a shirt and then have on like a fucking like a black vest that I got from what was it? It might have been H&M. I think it might have been H&M. And it was just like a black vest that I wore with my stuff, but still had like a dope ass style. You know what I mean? A vest over my shirt, jeans, and some cool ass kicks. And that was it. Sounds stupid, but it looked dope as fuck. And it was like, this is shit that I was really getting complimented on because it was so different. And I felt like for me, at least in my area or the circle of friends that I had, it was like I felt like a fucking pioneer. You know what I mean? And not really trying to be like, oh, I'm killing everybody's style or whatever. It was just, I always wanted that shit to be a little bit different than who I'm around or what I see on a regular. So I took influences from different areas. Like there's times where I wore fits that look a little bit more Southern. You know, you have like your Air Force Ones with your jeans, but not like, you know, Air Force Ones from the South were like wearing white Air Force Ones or black Air Force Ones. I don't think like Southern styles back then were really even wearing like Air Force Ones that were like collaborative ones. But I think that was more of like a New York thing where they had like Nike collaborations for Dunks or for Air Force Ones. But like, dude, I always wanted them. I always wanted those things, those styles, man. It was so fucking dope. It was so fucking fire to me. It was something that I felt like was an extension of a person. You know what I mean? Not like I said, I keep saying it, not to be on cocky shit or anything. It's just you want that feeling. You want something to look different. You want something to look fresh. One thing that's so frustrating is going out and seeing somebody with the same fucking fit on. And then the times that I have worn new release Jordans or whatever, and you know, I might have wore like a basic type of fit with it, guaranteed I go out somewhere and somebody has on a similar ass fit. You know what I'm saying? And it was something that I hated so much because I'm like, damn, like, you know, you go out into public and you look at a dude, you looking across at the party and shit, and then you see a dude in the same exact shit that you're wearing. What? Hell no, bro. You like, damn, like this shit look crazy as fuck, you know? So that was just something that made me want to have different type of a different type of style, man. And I loved it. I still love it to this day. But like I said, I'm not going out as much as I used to. So it's like I kind of care a little bit less, but I still like it. You know what I mean? When I go out, I kind of still wear stuff that I don't see on a regular. Even if it's like shirts that I've made or anything like that. It's like, bro, I went to Vegas. I made a shirt with my face on it on a Gundam, and people liked it. You know what I mean? People thought it was dope. They thought it was creative and shit like that. It's just different stuff, man. You can do so much different stuff with fashion, bro. You can put your own spin on anything. So that's why I kind of don't like how fashion is now, because like I said, so many people are just shopping online, and it's like, dude, you got millions of people trying to get the same fucking thing. You go out in the public and people got the same shit on. There used to be so many unique stores for fashion. Like I said, Up Against the Wall was one. There was another store that was like Up Against the Wall, but it had like, man, it was like in the Delamo Mall, like outside, and they used to have like a DJ outside, man. That place had some fire ass clothes too. I can't remember the name of it, but they had like a DJ in their store. Up Against the Wall used to have a DJ in their store also. But also there was another store. What was it? Urban Outfitters is cool too. If you really want to have some fashion that's a little bit different than what you normally see, Urban Outfitters is it. Also, if you even want to get like some cool graphic tees, you know, that's your thing. Fuck with Old Navy, dude. Sometimes Old Navy has some dope ass graphic tees, especially if you have that nostalgic feeling for certain stuff. Like you can pull it off with a fucking classic Coca-Cola logo shirt or a fucking Pepsi logo shirt and have on like some dope ass shoes to go on with it, and then have on some jeans. You know what I mean? Like, dude, one thing for sure with fashion, sneakers, shoes help the fit so fucking much. They make it so fucking much, because like I said, there were some styles that I had where it was just a white tee, jeans, but the sneakers are always on point. And dude, that was it, dude. It just made me think about it watching that Jim Jones Complex interview or episode of their sneakers show. And it just made me want to talk about it, because I was like, dude, that was such a big part of who I was a while ago. And even, like I said, even still now, but going out less, it's like I kind of care less about it. But back then, it was just like, man, it was every fucking thing. It was like everything. It's like having your own style is everything.